command of the masses. Mayegun don come, Mayegun diary political. Mayegun don come, this one not dey off in mind. Mayegun don come, person wey dey do evil no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too dey talk. He too dey talk. Say Mayegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman pikin dey the street dey hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Mayegun don come. So my people make you loud. Mayegun don come. My people make you shout. Mayegun don come. Mayegun don command of the masses. Mayegun don come. Mayegun diary political. Mayegun don come. This man not dey off in mind. Mayegun don come.
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Yes, share this broadcast. Read the caption of the broadcast, yeah? And then relax and be part of this tonight. Let me know if this audio is perfect, by the way.
Mayegun diary political.
Paulu left lie.
And we are competing with armed robbers and the bandits to recruit from the youths who are unemployed. 33% unemployed. Recruit 50 million youths into the army and take away from their recruitment source. What they will eat? Cassava, àgbàdo, corn in the morning, yam in the afternoon. It's growing here. You create demand and consumption. For over 5 million army of boot camps. We create our food. That's money for the farmers. That's consumption for the soldiers and skill development.
Thank you. Paulu left Nigeria and he attended opening ceremony for the event he told you he was going for, only to disappear and then reappear again at the closing ceremony.
And yes, we like and yes, we like and yes, we like
and that is actually one of smallest of all the worries of Kalu right now with what happened at the tribunal today. Share this broadcast.
I yes, you like aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Ayé ìtura kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òkúra olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Ayé ìtura kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ayé ìtura kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé.
Thank you. Good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Máyégún, yes, and live. You know, so many news have been making the round in the last 24 hours. But we will have a collation or the collection of all of them on Máyégún's diary Politico. So tonight, we are starting with the situation that nearly caused the Nigerians in France to declare that Tinubu has gone AWOL. Because what happened? With all the favority, all the propagandas, all the lies of the France package, let us review that. They said world leaders or African leaders were to meet in France, Paris, and they wanted to discuss financial impacts, you know, kind of economic conversation, terrorism and all that kind of conversation, right? That has to do with Africa. And it was going to be an opportunity as well for these African leaders, according to them, to get some validation from these world leaders by pretending to be bringing investment back to their countries. So, for those who have seen or who have kind of followed this in the past, this summit in France is just one of the old colonial or neo-colonists or the imperialists, as you call them, to keep the leech on the rent seekers, you call the leaders in Africa. It's so obvious. They go to France to discuss economy of Africa. They go to New York, America, to go and discuss about how the world can help Africa. They go all over the world. They go to China to go and discuss Africa problems. But as the name connotes, Financial Impact Summit. How can Africa or the Europe or France help Africa? That's so to get this help, you must be able to present your case to start with, okay? But majority of these African leaders going to all these summits, most of them corrupt, criminal, and crooked, tyrants, dictators. They just go to all these summits for validation. None of whatever they said they are going there to do benefits their countries. So when Kolu, that is dying for the world validation, so they put a package together, they call it the first foreign trip of President Kolu, which means you want to see the gains. How did Kolu represent you? What were the, the Kolu say argument on economy, on finance, and other things that actually affects you? Well, and all his own programs called agriculture, this and that. How can they improve? I mean, what was his own case? So a lot of people, I want to believe, they were looking forward to when Kolu will sit down with all these African leaders, or as they love to put it in Nigeria, world leaders, in order to continue their propaganda and package of lies. They started, I mean, it was Dele Alakori that first said something. They said world leaders, they are queuing to meet with Kolu because they can't wait to benefit from his wealth of, knowledge, talent, experience. The world can't wait. That was what Dele Alakori said. But it's a lie, Abi. Now, Kolu appeared. I think I got a clip of him coming. Was it this one? So Kolu attended opening ceremony. Okay. Dele Alakori said 4 world leaders are already queuing to meet with Kolu. Who are the 4 world leaders? What would Kolu tell them? What is he going to tell them? No idea, but na packaging, sure you know. So Kolu yesterday attended the opening ceremony. You know that kind of opening ceremony that all of them will come and say, "Oh, this is Nigeria leader, this is a Ghana leader, this is a Cameroon leader," all that kind of thing. So they will all come out. Something like this. If some of you remember this image, something like this. All of them come out, okay? Now, Kolu also attended the opening ceremony where everybody they will meet Macron. They will meet the president of France, all the African leaders that came, okay? So they will take pictures with him, all right? They will take pictures with themselves. After that, they will go to interaction. The interaction is where all of them are different, kind of a different segment or session. They can say, "Oh, Indian president, Kenyan president, South Africa president, and the rest of them, they are going to have a session from 8 a.m. or no, from 12 noon to 2 p.m. If you want to attend that, go. Nigeria president, France president, this president, that president, they will have their session from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. If you want to attend, you will book and you attend that appearance." So Kolu walked in, like Laisi Abeshupinle, to come and say, "Welcome ceremony." That was Kolu appearing like, so they are also carrying briefcase, like he's carrying a nuclear button. When you see American president, you will see somebody within his team carrying a briefcase. They say that briefcase is for American president to press the nuclear bomb when America when the United States comes under attack. So he carries that nuclear button about. So Kolu too was coming with somebody. What did they carry inside there? Now in urine bag. That bag where they carry after Kolu, now in urine bag they inside. So if they want change in urine bag, they quickly open the bag, put the used one inside, bring out a fresh one. Nothing. Nigeria no get any button where anybody want press. Nothing they inside that bag. Immediately he took that pictures and the rest of that, Baba disappeared. Those who now booked to attend a section, kind of attend a session with Kolu and other presidents so that they can ask questions. "Mr. President, you are newly elected. So what's your plan for Nigeria? What do you want the world to know? Blah, 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 blah." Kolu no day. They sent representatives. Somebody should go and do the same. Kolu did the same thing at Chatham House in London. In December 2022, when he came here with all the they gave him a chance to read whatever they wrote for him. But when it came to time of answering questions, Kolu said, "I am of a team ship." The Baba Were don't carry team ship to Paris, yo. Team ship to Paris, where they are telling Nigerians that world leaders are waiting to hear from him. Maybe to avoid another international Bulaba moment. Bula Blue or Bala Blue. Bulaba. To avoid all of that, they kept Kolu in the hotel room and they said somebody else. But when that one got there, they said, "Who you be? Representing the president of Nigeria." Ide Chris. Like, what, do you think we are joking here? Representing who? Where is your president? We saw him earlier. He was here. We saw him with his people. Where is he? Sorry, Mr. President cannot attend this gathering. He has some other engagement. Which other engagement? Is this not what he came here to do? Yeah? Remember, Dele Alakori was wetting the floor just 2 days ago.
When we were boarding the aircraft for Paris, the essence is to network as much as is feasible, as much as is practicable. The president wants to network with international finance corporations, institutions, countries that are well-heeled, that would facilitate or that could facilitate direct foreign investment into Nigeria. Don't forget that Mr. President has taken some very bold steps in the area of economy, in the area of social.
Do you see that? Liars. See, you wanted to go and sell a product. Those who came to buy the product, there is a process. That's why it is called a summit. Everybody will come there, meet with you, discuss business opportunities in Nigeria. How can they come in? But this guy no dey there at all. Well, listen to this other one, okay? That one is about their salary increase, by the way.
That Mr. President's policies in the last 3 weeks really have encouraged these foreign nations and investors to become more interested in the affairs of Nigeria, in shoring up the economy of Nigeria. So a lot of them are quite interested. So many of them have even indicated interest to meet with Mr. President in this trip. Just upstairs now, we were, having a meeting with the president on, structuring some of these meetings with heads of states. At the last count, about 3-4 different heads of states of developed countries have indicated willingness to meet with him, have a chat with him, and explore areas of cooperation on the economy, on agriculture, on other areas that are salient to the development of Nigeria's economy.
Liar. Omo, go tell before you all kind of miss liar mo. Let me show you how other African presidents went to the summit, okay, to argue out the position of their countries in the global politics, economy, war, and everything going on. Kolu was not there. He was meeting with them upstairs. That's their hotel room. That's where Dele Alakori was telling them that he's meeting with some head of states. He's meeting with some business people. Blah, 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 blah. Lies. Yeah, he's they call him the Ruto, the president of Kenya. And I waiting there go do, or usually, what should be happening when you go to such summits?
To deliver what we have to deliver. Bank. Because IMF and World Bank, you have the final say. We don't have no say. We want another organization of equals, where you have as much say because we pay, as much as we do because we also pay. That's the organization we are looking for. And that is why we are saying we need a new financial architecture, where governance, where power is not on the hands of a few people. We can agree on the governance of the institution. We can agree on the sharing of power so that all of us have access to resources that go to making sure, number one, renewable energy. We invest in decarbonization. Number two, adaptation, mitigation, smart agriculture. Number three, restoring our planet, restoring our biodiversity, and making sure our carbon sinks work. This is what we are saying, and we would appreciate a little understanding. I mean, we want to be, we are talking the normal. If we continue talking the normal, Emmanuel, we will never solve this problem. Things are not going forward, they are going backwards. Tokenism, installment will not solve this problem. We have a much bigger problem than the installment we are discussing here will solve. You are not hearing us.
I will, if I may, I will answer you in 2 words to conclude. No, but
and let me just finish one more. When Ajay was saying 1 to 5 or 1 to 1, who is 1 and who is 5? Private sector versus who is 1 and who is 5?
$5 private sector mobilization for every dollar of money that comes in.
5 from private.
Surely. Ajay, how do you persuade the private sector to bring their money for public good? Private sector is driven by profit, my friend. I mean, unless you persuade me otherwise.
So we're going to run out of time, but there's a whole conversation to be had about what money goes into adaptation versus what goes into mitigation, which part of it the private sector is ready to go for. If they give us 20 ideas and 5 work, we win. That's the idea. That's why I think Mark and Shruti can make us successful at the bank. And if we become successful on this topic, then maybe we make a little bit of progress towards your point there. So I cannot thank the two of you enough. It's not as though I don't have enough to do, but thank you.
On World Bank, we are blocked today, if we are honest together, because on one side the shareholders say we will refuse the recap if there is no reform, and the reform is complicated. What I suggest is we do need a bold roadmap where we say, let's maximize the leverage, saying the good work you will make. For $1 being invested by the World Bank, we get $1 by the private sector. This is the leverage we have to focus on and the target we need to maximize. If we do so, as shareholders, we have to commit to accept the increase and the capital increase.
My target is $5 for one. If this is my target, I can't tell you today what the time frame will be, but I tell you, if you only get 1 for 1, we fail.
No, but this is at least today, we have eviction impact. I will be honest. For a lot of shareholders, the main argument is to say, sometimes when we have World Bank, private sector just leave. This is where we start.
Yes.
So nobody told me that I was too shy till now. So what we need, if this is 1 for 5, I'm super happy. At least I'm speaking under the control of the best expert. If this is 1 for 1, it's super. You have my commitment that we will accept the capital increase to double. Because today it's 100, I will make clear for everybody for the math. It's 100 billion. It means that if we mobilize it properly, we can get 100 billion addition from private sectors.
Anyway, let me explain what is going on there. All right? Kenya president, who is representing Kenya, is in Africa. They have all the resources. That other person, next to Macron, they are called private investors. These are the money bags, the money imperialists, okay, who are hunting for your resources, all right? But before they will put their money anywhere, okay, they need the guarantee or the guarantor like France. That is where countries like America, France, UK, this is what they do, all right? So that to protect the interest of the money they want to give to the African leaders in return for the resources from Africa. Okay? So Macron, as Mr. Middleman, who brought all of them to France, gave them nice hotels, gave them good treats, all right? Only because he wants to be the middleman, the deal will be made there, billions and billions of euros will go into it. But here is something that you notice, right? Macron was like, okay, let's be fair. So what we're going to do is that every dollar you put in there, it will be dollar for dollar. Something that could be, in a way, like, okay, 50-50. But the people bringing the money, they said, well, maybe World Bank can do that. But if now also, it's going to be $1 to 5 because of other factors, which means we'll put $1 there and we expect $5 back. This is not like they are actually giving the dollar to you. They will come in and say, oh, in different names, in different businesses and all of that. They will sign an MOU with the government of your country. But the Kenya president was there arguing on behalf of Kenyans and whatever is in Kenya, that France and their business associates, they are the hawks, they are willing to go and devour. That's what they are negotiating about. You see, in that audience, you have other business representatives from all over the world. They are also going to wait around and look for, Okay, if the deal goes that way, can they do the paperwork? And before you know it, the Kenya president may walk out of that place. Not just with investors, so he will be working out with those who agree or nearly agree with the terms he considered fair. Like he's saying, he was demanding that, listen, let us stop talk. I mean, using these people we have been using all this while. They are ripping us off. World Bank, IMF. We need a different independent financial body that Africa and have every country in it, they will have equal share. Nobody say Africa go be the one, you know what I mean? It was there, Kolu was not there. Let me show you another scenario of what it looked like when you go to that summit. This one is the corrupt Sirisha of South Africa. You know him, Abi? Right. Kolu was nowhere to be found. Nowhere.
You know, recently, 7 African countries decided to go and put a call for peace to Ukraine and to Russia. And we raised a number of issues. Zambia was represented, Comoros was represented, Republic of Congo was represented, Senegal was represented, Uganda, as well as South Africa. So we were all represented, and Egypt as well. So we were all at one, that even as we were going to address an issue of the war which has had a negative impact on the African continent, which is the rise in prices for food, rise in prices for fertilizers, we were clear that we are not going there as beggars. We are not going to ask for a favor to both Ukraine and Russia. We were going there to say, open up the Black Sea Channel so that the grains and the fertilizers should go into the world market. So we were not on a begging mission, even as we are in great need as a continent and all that. That should go to demonstrate that Africa should never be seen as a continent that needs generosity. We want to be treated as equals. Even in the multilateral institutions, we want to be treated as equals. And if our equity is at a low ebb, there must be ways in which that can be addressed. To us, this is very important. Our sovereignty is one of the things that we hold on dearly to. And we demonstrated that very clearly to both President Zelensky and to President Putin when it came to this issue. Even as there were suggestions that, yes, we can donate this, we can donate that, we said, we want you to release these grains and fertilizers to the world market so that the world can trade in these commodities and other issues we can handle in a different way. I wanted to make that point so that it should be understood where Africa has evolved up to. We want to be key players on the world stage, want to be key players even in the financial markets and in the MDBs. Now, these are the positive things. I do, Mr. President Macron, want us to address another issue which to us is a bit of a negative. You will have heard President Sisi talking about the 100 billion that was promised in Paris. President Sassou Nguesso yesterday as well also spoke about it at the dinner. Now there is that issue that a number of the commitments that have been made have not really been fully lived up to. But before I get into details, let me immediately say that we recognize the many initiatives that have been put on the table, and a number of countries here have done so. Germany has gone out of the way to put a number of initiatives, and the US has also done a number of things. But there have been times when we felt like we were beggars. I played a key role as chair of the African Union during the COVID period. We felt like we were beggars when it came to vaccine availability, when we felt we needed access to vaccines, and the Northern Hemisphere countries had bought all the vaccines in the world, and they were hogging them. And they didn't want to release them at the time when we needed them most. And we felt like we were begging. And at times it felt like they would just be droppings from the table, that yes, we will give you that and that. And let me tell you something that generated a lot of resentment. We resented that, and it got worse when we said we want to manufacture our own vaccine. And when we went to the WTO, there was a lot of resistance, enormous resistance. And we kept saying, what is more important, life or profits by your big pharmaceutical companies? And that too, I must tell you now, generated and deepened that disappointment and resentment on our part, because we felt like life in the Northern Hemisphere is much more important than life in the global South. And these are issues that need to be addressed. And I'm glad that we are all seated here like this, because we've got to get to the heart of these matters and address them. Now, I come to promises that have been made. And Chancellor Scholz was saying, we've got to walk the talk. Yes, we want to see the talk being walked. President Sassou Nguesso yesterday said at the dinner, $100 billion was promised per year. And he was saying, I've never seen that. And many of us will testify that that $100 billion has never really been made available. And this should stand out as something that needs to be addressed. Because sometimes we sit at conferences like this and say, yes, we'll make this available, and we believe you. We believe you, but now the tire must hit the tar. We must now.
So that's their conference earlier today, where, I mean, did you notice that guy, the South African president, talking? You might say maybe, well, it's coming from experience, but the guy was saying everything offhand. It was just like somebody who is like really involved and knows what he is talking about. Do you not kind of feel like that should have been Nigeria? Like the way Nigerians kind of always want to be so entitled to say they are giant of Africa and the rest. I'm still waiting for the clip where Kolu also addressed that conference. That is today. You see that dinner I mentioned, where Kolu showed up, and when they were doing the interaction on the stage, he was gone. He showed up at that dinner. There is a video for that dinner. I just don't want to add that to this. He came back later, and he was greeting. You see that lifetime president of Cameroon. They are greeting themselves, and they are like two Ojopagogos meeting themselves, kind of. Sure, you get so. But that one is today, and if I see any of his clip in that conference today, I am going to share that with you. At least you would love to hear from him, Abi? No? Okay, doesn't matter. But I haven't seen any, and it is almost at the end of today, by the way. So yeah, where is Kolu? People were asking. Somebody said Kolu is shy. Shy Yikini. He said he's a bat, is a human in the day, bat at night, whatever. So let's go back to Nigeria, where things that we thought, or they probably thought was buried, if I said the legs are already out. Okay. Yeah, I love that part where that Ramaphosa, the South African president, where he was saying that they felt, I mean, he was talking about that they are disgust for the West, who actually treat Africa like piece of shit, right? Just like a lot of Africans know too, like they treat Africans like piece of shit. They, you know, they manage to manipulate your criminal leaders in a way that, you know, profit for service or something, right? But he was very, very blunt and very, very unequivocal. So Africa has been treated like a piece of shit, and they have had enough. They don't want to be treated like people who need help, people who want generosity, people who want charity. Okay? I just hope they mean that too. Sure, you get. They say fellow. But I actually hope he means that they want to be treated like equal. They've got what they want. So why can't they be treated with, like equal? Anyway, it's quite impressive, isn't it? Let's go back to Nigeria. There is one more thing I want to add to that. Remember Bokwari, as useless as Bokwari was, he attended that stage, interactive question and answer time on that stage when he was your president. Here is a clip of that.
President Buhari, Nigeria has a very young population. Perhaps you might highlight what a pathway for a resilient future looks like.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I share the sentiment expressed by the Secretary General that the world is on the verge of climate catastrophe. Undeniably, climate change is a human-induced phenomenon. It is now imperative that we must step up our collective climate actions in line with the request of the Secretary General. It is in this regard that I wish to reiterate Nigeria's commitment to its obligation under the Paris Agreement, the aspirations enshrined in our national determined contribution, and ensure a resilient future that mainstream climate risks is our decision-making. I want to announce that the government of Nigeria will develop a more robust sectorial action plan and expand the scope of our sovereign green bonds in line with our intent.
What did they ask him? What did they talk? I bet that's what you are thinking where you are there. Like, what did they ask him? What is it saying? I just wanted to know that at least he appeared. Kolu didn't. So the only thing Kolu did was to take selfie with Cameron. Have you seen those selfies? Me Cameroon. Cameroon, bobo. You know, it was like, Cameroon. You remember me? It's me. You know what happened is that when Kolu was governor of Lagos State, the Emmanuel Macron, the young Macron, also like, gyrate Macron, was touring Africa, and he was actually in Lagos at some point, like living in Lagos, like, hustling in Lagos like that, but it was kind of that adventurous. So yeah, Macron is president of France. Kolu is the INEC president of Nigeria, and he was so happy. You could see, listen, that picture was kind of not good, very blurry, right? The video, but let me show you something. It's like when you take a still image, how they met and all that. This, like, Hey, Ima Macro, something like that. Okay. And it was like, hey, Baba, it's really good to see you. Wow, look at you. I was governor when you came to Nigeria. Remember? I said, Baba, I remember. Let's go this way. I was like, he knows me. He remembers. Something like that. Okay? Something like, oh my God, he remember. You know, something like that. And it disappeared. It did disappear. But in Nigeria, like I said, the situation that seems to have been under control, Tinubu's forgery, Chicago University, working for Mobile, working for Deloitte, whether Tinubu was a girl, was Tinubu once a girl, then he transitioned to man. If they have to follow the documents, you know what I mean? Then the drug stuff. Now, all of that, they're like, you know, kind of repetitive, like they have things you have heard before, Abi. Now, here are the new twist. How many of you knows that Tinubu is also called Adekunle? And in fact, in 1977, NYSC, they gave Tinubu an exemption letter that he shouldn't serve national service. So no, he's too intelligent. So the exception letter was submitted to INEC. That fake letter of working for Deloitte, fake and everything about Tinubu fake academic qualification, fake whether he be man or woman, we don't know. Sure you get. So which one is now fake NYSC exemption letter? For the first time, they brought a witness to their court today, Atiku. And even Tinubu's lawyers were shocked. In one of their cross-examination, right, where they were more or less like, listen, share this document where you are bringing. Maybe you are already in court challenging it somewhere else. You, Mr. Witness. It was like, and what happened? It was like, no, the court said they didn't have jurisdiction to try my case. So nothing happened. So Tinubu's lawyers wanted to say that all this forgery, all this perjury, there are already court decisions that they are nothing until when cross-examination started, until tribunal accepted the entire evidence, What are these evidence? They said that Tinubu lied to INEC. INEC helped Tinubu to cover up. So INEC also committed a crime. Tinubu committed a crime. The situation has now gotten to a stage whereby it don't shock. The shocking is that even the Nigeria judiciary, if they say they won't swallow person now, person will carry dogodomi. You know that person where will they take pound? That would. If I say now waiting everybody won't swallow be that in this case, so because I mean in the presented document, certificate from the Chicago State University, they said the person where they bear Tinubu actually came to their university. Now, girl, Bola, no be man. Later, they came out and they said, okay, Chicago University is okay. Tinubu came to their university. So this is the letter that Tinubu's lawyers presented in court to confirm that Tinubu, that Chicago State University confirmed Tinubu that he actually came to their university and graduated. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have come across this, this image was first published online during the desperate time when Tinubu's Lagos Abobakus, when they were trying to cover up all of this fakery, they went on on a photo, I mean, what's the column? A graphic design. And they designed this letter and they published it online. Newspapers in Nigeria published it. And this is exact letter that Tinubu's lawyers presented. But ladies and gentlemen, look at this certificate. This is also what Tinubu said his own certificate or so, right? But yeah, okay, hang on. Let me take this off. Thank you very much, E8, by the way, for your super chat. Right. Now, take a look at something here, ladies and gentlemen. They said that if you look at this very well, you will realize that Tinubu and gang, they decided to go and use the template that they copied on Pinterest, okay, to develop a certificate that they could only share online since INEC can cover up. They will say go to court, go to court. Shebi INEC don't pass them already. INEC don't clear them already. So if it is original to INEC, then it is original. But it is fake, right? Now, this today, with the original, with the letter from Chicago State University, that they don't know anybody called Tinubu, the witness and everything, all of them came together today, and they have handed everything over to their tribunal. Again, I'm not trying to tell you to be happy, say something will happen per se. Oh, I am just giving you updates in you. Sure you get. You need let me. I'm not raising your hope. Oh. All of us want to see what will happen. Abi? So he done this, he done that. The entire thing have been submitted. Same thing. I mean, I think I have a space where Atiku's lawyer has something to add. Watch this.
Vital witness, a digital forensic expert. And you remember that this is the very first time we are having a technology-driven presidential elections in Nigeria. So the evidence that this witness has profiled today, a witness who examined the beavers machines used, is very, very vital. So we are happy this witness has testified today. Tomorrow we'll bring our remaining witnesses and we'll close.